So you have evolved from being the drummer in Bellas to the manager of Bellas. Are you managing any other bands at the same time?
Yeah, so all of this actually started. I mean, Bella's became a business, and because of that, we started to have. This was back in like 2016. We started to have more responsibilities and a need for like holes to be filled because it was like it went
It's
from
a
being
business.
it
Yeah.
went from being a band of friends to doing stuff to an actual business. I mean, when contracts started being involved, we were just like, yeah, I mean, this is like you know
It's
thinking
great.
back then when I didn't know anything to kind of now, it's like, yeah, it really is. It's a business. So, um,
I mean,
and
it's
so
called the
before we
music
started
business
hiring,
for a reason, right? Like,
exactly, a lot of people kind of forget that too with bands our level. It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's still those things are still in place. Um, yeah, for me, before we started hiring managers and before we even had the money to hire managers, we were always self-managed. We always did, like I said, a hole needed to be filled. Someone had to fill that hole. And it was usually either me or a tag team version, me and someone else, me and Ash or whatever. And so, yeah, during the because of that, I think I was naturally kind of already in a mindset of handling a lot of things that management usually handles. Um, and so during the pandemic, what happened was I was so unsure of where our industry was going. I mean, this was 2020, and I was kind of thinking like, well, I'm not playing shows, Bella's isn't doing anything, and I don't know what the future holds.
Right, right.
So that was a very challenging time, and so I was kind of improvising. I was just like, well, I know I want to stay in this world of music. I've devoted my life to music. And I'm good at this business aspect of it, this right brain kind of versus left brain kind of thing. It's a blessing and a curse. Not every musician kind of has that, right? So I
Yep.
was just like, maybe I dive into the world of like booking or management. And then I was just like, I went into it a little bit more, and I was just like, I don't want to be a booking agent. I don't want to be sending out inquiries. I don't want to be on the phone. I don't want to be like handling massive amounts of emails and trying to, like, it's like I don't want to be a booking agent. And it kind of just fell into my lap. I was on social media, and a friend sent a post of another friend that was basically kind of just like a call to action. It was just like, hey, my band's like blah blah blah, this, that, and the other thing. Like I don't think I can handle it. I don't have the bandwidth for it myself anymore. Someone that was also self managing, like all of
Yep.
us.
Yep.
Do I know any managers? And I kind of had that thought of just like, man, I think this is it. Like this was 2020, the end of 2020, if I'm not mistaken, early 2021.
Yeah.
Still not playing. So I was just like, you know what? I think maybe management, And so I kind of started managing them as a way to see if I could handle doing it, and
Yep.
I could. It was going well, and meanwhile I was still handling everything Bella's, even though we weren't playing. Like we were still running our business. I was still handling. I was getting grants. Just to stay afloat during all of that time, and so I was still making things happen. Just for the promise for when shows were going to get booked again. We were still
Yep.
talking to our booking agent monthly, thinking about like, okay, well, we we're staying on top of the trends. And it's looking like vaccines are going to come out in May of 2021, which means that shows it, blah blah blah. So it's like
Yeah.
we
Right.
were still
Right.
working, but we weren't playing.
So
So I was
smart.
still doing all of that work. So I was just like, okay, well, if I take on another band, let me see if I have the bandwidth for it. I did. I still manage them today, and
Which band is that?
it's a band also local to me in the Massachusetts area, and the band is a bluegrass outfit, Mama's Marmalade.
Oh, nice. All right. I'll put a link to them too. Yeah. Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
please, definitely. And they're up to a lot of exciting things as well. I definitely don't mean to talk about Bella's just as, all the time, but Mama's is they're actually going out to Colorado
Nice.
on a nice little tour um, next week. They just got back from Folk Alliance. They got a couple great festival plays coming up as well. Definitely give them a listen. They have a new album coming out. They're a traditional. They have been a traditional style bluegrass band for the better part of 10 years as well.
Yep.
But they just um, recorded a new album with drums and are actually going to
Huh?
kind of rebrand to be a little bit like folk Americana, you know, with drums and still have that trad kind of aspect. So it'll be a little bit more of a dynamic show for them.